But one day I did come down and just a quick prayer, that was all, with other people that were down. And I went back and again, you always say, try and do the things you couldn't do before. So that's what I did. I sort of stretched it, even though, I mean, my skeleton was lopsided because of this shoulder. So I really had a job stretching, but anyway, I kept doing it. And every morning I would do a few exercises. After 2 weeks, I didn't do them anymore, and I hadn't noticed that it was so free. And it was gone. It just, after 2 weeks, it was gone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't instant.
No.
It wasn't in the meeting.
Yeah.
Sometimes God does it over a period of time. That's healing. A miracle is when it just happens.
Instantly.
Bang.
Yeah.
And John, you had a little problem, didn't you? You know,
A few years later.
to do with a water company.
The waterworks, yes.
Yes.
Well, I woke up one morning as usual and jumped out of bed, and I felt this sharp pain in my side. And I thought, oh, what's that? You know, and I thought nothing more, and just went into the shower, freshened up, came back to get dressed, and it hit me again. And it was such an excruciating pain that I couldn't actually stand up. I had to sort of lay on the bed. And Jan was sort of rubbing my, thinking I had wind or something, was rubbing my back and making it worse.
I thought you had a heart attack, but it was in the wrong place.
So I sort of said, leave me alone, leave me alone.
Well, you don't know where his heart was. Then, okay.
But it was terrible, sharp pain.
Oh.
wasn't
It was dreadful, and I was sweating profusely.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So I went to the doctor that day, and he said, well, it sounds like you've got renal colic, which is, I understood to mean a kidney stone. And I went to see went to the hospital, and they took x-rays and confirmed it. But it was a bank holiday weekend, so I couldn't get anyone to see me fairly quickly. So it was a few days before I saw a consultant, and he arranged to do this kind of procedure where they pass something up inside you and try and grab the stone and remove it that way. It makes me cringe just to think about it again. But that didn't work, and all the specialist did was succeed in pushing it further back into my kidney.
Oh,
and so then they put this tube between the kidney and the bladder to allow urine to pass, and so that you know, I could perform normal functions. And over a period of time, the idea was to leave this and see if it passed naturally. If it didn't, they would then zap it with one of these ultrasonic sounders or whatever the contraption is. And so one Sunday, I was one evening in the meeting, I had this tube inside me, and you picked on me when I was sat in the front row somewhere, and you made me stand up and you prayed for me. You said, it's over. And I said, yes. And you said, do you believe it? And I remember saying yes. And I didn't feel anything at the time. Yeah. Nothing kind of special. It's just that I believed it was over. And I went back to have this tube removed and have this other procedure. But when they x-rayed me to see where the stone was, to pinpoint the machine where it would work on my kidney, they couldn't find it. It vanished.
Goodness.
And I'm told that if I'd have passed this kidney stone, I would have felt it.
You'd have known.
Yes.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And what happened to it, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is it wasn't there when it should have been, and I was delighted to know that God had healed me in that way. So that was fantastic, because I didn't relish the thought of having to pass this kidney stone.
No.
It knocked me to my knees previously, and you know, it's strange having that kind of thought hanging over you any time now.
Oh,
I'm going to go to the loo and end up sort of
yeah,
grabbing something to hang on to, sort of thing. So that was, you know, that was really nice. And I'd seen other people healed, seen other miracles at the church, and you kind of almost think, oh, well, that's for someone else, but that was for me. Yeah, it was fantastic, really.
It's amazing how many people put it off and say it's for someone else.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Thank God it was for you.
Yeah.
And I was grateful you picked on me. You must have known something.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes yes. Yeah. Just like that, you pick on someone.
Yeah.
Because I just know that's their moment to be healed. It's when a word of knowledge comes, you know. And it's specific.
Yeah.
And it was over. It finished. You know, that's wonderful. And so you both know miracles are real.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you've settled down in the church with your family?
Oh, yeah. Both of our daughters have married young men from the church. And,
when we actually came to the church, our two daughters, they've always been brought up in the church that we were in before, and quite happy, but they had reached the 15, 16-year-olds, and they'd started to have an excuse not to go, any reason not to go. But we still said, you know, we're going as a family. You've got no good reason not to go. You're coming. But then when we moved over here, I did think this is going to make or break the family unit and them coming to church. But when we did visit, we just said, you know, if you were going somewhere, I'd want to know where you were going. Would you like to come and see where we've found the new church? So, well, anyway, they came along. And the very first week, I think they were amazed because you're quite outspoken.
Really?
Very outspoken. And I think they're with their schooling and what have you, they'd become politically correct.
Yeah.
So it's made them stop and think. And you were talking about homosexuality and how it's wrong and condemned in the Bible. And I remember my daughter saying, you know, you can't say that. People have got the right to their lifestyle or something like that. But I said, what did the Bible say? And she sat quiet and thought about it for a while, didn't she? And she said, the Bible says it's wrong. And I think that made her stop and think. And she came back. And again, as we went on the over 40s to feel part of the fellowship, they went on the 1830 holiday. I think they were a little bit young, but they went along because they were so welcomed by the young people. And when they came back different girls.
Changed, don't they?
Oh, that's lovely.
You know, they had a faith of their own.
Yeah.
They weren't coming because of mum and dad anymore.
Oh, that's
So
great.
it really has been the
The
making
whole
of the family.
has changed.
Beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
And then your daughter, who had just done GCSE, I remember, and got E's and F's in a...
No,
It wasn't
no.
quite as bad as
Not
that.
It was.
I think there were C's
C's
and
and
D's.
D's.
You
No,
certainly...
they were below.
They weren't all
They-
passes in.
They
as
weren't
you were-
passes in the proper sense,
No.
Yeah.
O-level.
No.
And so she came, did her GCSE and A-levels and went on and did university and got a 2-1, didn't she?
Did fantastic.
She
well.
did.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
She went from feeling a failure, really,
Yeah.
because she wanted to stay on and do A-levels, but she hadn't worked. She'd been overlooked, really. And then
The
you
grades weren't
gave
good
her...
enough, were they, at GCSE?
They weren't good enough. And although I said she realises she needs to work, they wouldn't have it. And I think they were pushing the GMVQ at the time. So that's all she could do.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's right.
Until we had a barbecue and talked about it.
That's right.
Those were the...